Hello and welcome back, and welcome to this new mini-series in which across the next 16 weeks I'm going to be bringing you guys along with me as I train to run my first marathon, the Loch Ness Marathon, at the end of September. Now, as of today, we quite literally are at the very start of the training plan, and the aim for this video is to give you guys a loose overview of my training plan, how I will be structuring my runs, my nutrition, strength, conditioning, as well as my target time for the marathon in the format of A, B, and C goals. Now, before we crack on, I want to preface this video with two things. First, this plan has been self-written. I've not bought, downloaded, or at any point throughout the next 16 weeks do I plan to use anybody else's training plan. Now, this is important to note because if you watching see aspects of this training plan and think,
cool, that's good, I might try and do that in my training plan,
you're more than welcome to, but this hasn't been planned or written by a professional or a certified PT or running coach. I am, over the years, self-trained, and as a result have learned how my body works. So you're more than welcome to copy elements from the plan, but just be aware that I'm kind of making this up as I go along. Secondly, I'm actually just coming out of a bout of COVID-19, which I didn't know was still a thing, as well as a very slight niggle cum injury in my hamstring. Fortunately, because I was unwell with COVID, I've actually been able to rest my hamstring to an extent that it no longer hurts. But as a result, I've kind of had to amend the first 2 weeks of the training plan. My first week, which I'm currently in right now, will be reduced mileage with no speed session. And then second week, again, probably sticking at reduced mileage, about 4 runs per week. And I'll see how I feel if I want to introduce a speed session or not. Hopefully those 2 weeks will be enough that come week 3, I'll be back up at target mileage and smashing out the runs as I have planned. But yeah, we'll just need to kind of wait and see how that pans out. So with those caveats in mind, let's jump in. Oh, wait, actually, before we do that, I just wanted to say that there's going to be a lot of me talking at you in this video. So to keep it interesting, I've decided that each section will be filmed at a different angle throughout my flat, just as much to keep myself engaged as it is to keep you guys engaged. Yeah, I have a tendency to wander off sometimes. Oh, there's a dog down there. Sorry, yes, where were we? Right, yes, let's jump in to the first point. Decided to do this talking head bit at my work desk because all training plans should be thoughtfully put together and studious and smart. I mean, we'll see in September how smart and studious my training plan was. But much like most, if not all, prescribed marathon training plans, my block will take me across 16 weeks with 5 runs per week, barring, of course, the first couple of weeks being shorter because of aforementioned injuries and COVID. Obviously, this is likely to change across the 16 weeks, depending on, like life and work and just generally how my body feels. But intention is 5 runs per week. At this stage, no double run days, but I'll see how I get on in the later stages. Of course, before each run, I'll do a 10 to 15 minute dynamic warm-up, making sure I activate all my muscles, and before each speed session or tempo session, I will make sure that the first 2 to 3 kilometers are easy zone 2. These are all habits that I've done for the last year plus in training for my half marathon. Nothing new for me, I'm very comfortable doing it. However, and I'm saying it here to hold myself accountable, after every run, I am, in 2024, swearing to either static stretch or foam roll, because gosh darn, I do not do enough of it and my legs hate it as a result. I'm going to commit to it and do foam rolling after every single run. It's taken a lot of trial and error for me to figure out what works well for me in a training plan, both mentally and physically. Tuesdays is my dedicated speed day. I just find getting it done at the start of the week makes me more adherent to the plan, and I like to stick with a small set of 4 different workouts that I'll repeat across each quarter of the training plan. That'll consist of Norwegian 4x4s, which is 4 sets of 4 minutes on with a 3-minute walk, decreasing ladder repeats, which is efforts of 1 mile, 800 meters, 400 meters, 200 meters, repeat that twice, each with 90-second rest between the reps, and 3-minute rest between the sets. Next up, time pyramids, which is intervals of 1 minute and increasing in minute increments up to 5 minutes, then back down to 1 minute with 90-second rest between each rep. And lastly, mile repeats, which is fairly self-explanatory. I'll do 4 mile repeats. Sometimes I'll do 3, sometimes I'll do 5, just depends on how my body's feeling. I like to stick with a small number of different workouts. That way I can compare back to previous efforts and see how I've improved in different areas or what areas need improving. Now that the maths is done, we can get on to the rest of the training plan, which is a lot easier to follow along with. Now, Wednesdays, recovery run day. 8 kilometers, give or take, just to flush the lactic acid out of the legs, get ready for the rest of the week. Thursdays, now because I'm doing the Loch Ness Marathon, which, as you can imagine, with it being held in, the Highlands of Scotland, it's a pretty hilly route, so Thursdays are my designated hilly run days. It'll alternate between easy zone 2 runs one week and marathon paced efforts the next week. Saturdays, same distance as my runs on Thursdays, but always going to be easy zone 2, and then Sunday, long run day. Something just feels right about doing your long run on a Sunday. Now, depending on what my effort was on the Thursday prior will dictate what my workout is going to be on the Sunday. Or rather, should it be the other way around? Since the long runs are the crux of a training plan, surely my efforts on the Thursday should be dictated by what I did the Sunday prior? Anyway, I'll make sure that my Thursday and my Sunday efforts for each given week are not the same. If I do an easy session on the Thursday, Sunday will be a marathon paced effort, and vice versa. Obviously, week on week, I'll be increasing my mileage by no more than 10%, nor will I be increasing my intensity by more than 10%. I've not done proper sit down calculated maths. I've done some sort of scribbles in the back of the envelope, and it doesn't look like I'm increasing my mileage more than 10%. And on the back of that same envelope, I've figured out that I'm sticking roughly to that 80-20% ratio, that 80% of your runs should be easy effort, 20% of your runs should be a lot harder effort. If I am to add another run for a double run day or increasing more distance for each run, I'll make sure that that's all at zone 2, so I'm not stressing and taxing my body too much. Now, again, as I've mentioned, the first 2 weeks are going to be adjusted because of my recovery from injury and COVID, but the remaining 14 weeks of the plan will follow that structure that I've gone over just now. I have also got 2 tune-up races scheduled into my plan. I've got a 10k at the end of July and a half marathon in middle August. Now, as you know, a successful marathon build isn't just about the running, so what else are we going to be getting up to over the next 16 weeks? I don't know if it's just me, but even though every professional runner says a good strength and conditioning regime is just as important for a successful marathon training block as the running, I can just never be bothered with S&C. But that's all about to change. You heard it here first, that for this training block, I will dedicate 2 days a week to S&C work. 30 minutes, leg focused strength training, Tuesdays and Fridays. Yes, that same Tuesday that I have my speed session scheduled for. I swear I'm not a sadist that I've heard it written or seen it on a video that extra stress in one day for a certain muscle group is like good for conditioning or something. I don't know, in my head it makes sense, so that's what I'm doing, Tuesdays and Fridays. In line with that, I'm also going to be getting out for 2 walks, one on a Monday, one on a Friday, for at least an hour. They'll help flush out the lactic acid from the system, ensuring that my legs don't seize up, that on Tuesdays and Saturdays I'm feeling fresh and basically ready to get going for my next couple of days of training. That means that barring a kind of pseudo rest day on Mondays, I've got something on basically every single day. But having gone through a successful half marathon training block, I know what my body can handle, I know what works for me, so I feel like it'll be successful. Who knows? We will see. With regards to stretching, yoga, foam rolling, I've not got anything scheduled in. I'll do it if I feel like it, if I feel like my body needs it, but I'm already hesitant enough to schedule in S&C work when I already don't like doing it. So adding in another regime like yoga or stretching that I probably won't commit to, I just don't want to bite off more than I can chew, and I want to I want to get these small wins while I can. So yeah, I might do some yoga if the wind takes me. Hey, if it does, welcome to Yoga with James. Anyway, next up, nutrition. Now, I'll keep this brief. Why am I filming in my bedroom? Yeah, that's better. As you can tell, due to the tasteful wall art, I'm in the kitchen now. As I was saying, this will be brief. I'm planning to make a video dedicated to nutrition later on in the series, but in summary, and I'm not exactly going to be reinventing the wheel here, I'll be ensuring I have a carbohydrate-rich diet with plenty of protein, less emphasis on my fat intake. Carbohydrates, obviously, to ensure that my glycogen stores are topped up to fuel my efforts. Protein to kind of help mend the muscles from all the training, the workouts, the sessions that I'll be doing, and obviously ensuring I'm hydrated, drinking at least 3, probably 4 litres of water a day, and taking on plenty of electrolytes in the form of tabs, powders, as well as well-seasoned food. Even though Scotland doesn't get too hot, I am a very sweaty man anyway, so making sure that the electrolyte stores are full is paramount to optimal training. Now, contrary to what my countrymen might think, even though I'm Scottish, I don't tend to drink that much alcohol, so I will just be foregoing alcohol for the entirety of the training blog, even during my birthday. I just find that the impact that it has on my sleep, therefore the impact it has on my recovery, just isn't worth the little amount of enjoyment that I get from drinking it anyway. So yeah, I will be abstaining from the whiskies and the pints of Tennent's for the next 16 weeks. And in line with that as well, unless I have calories spare on the day and I don't have a large training session the next day, I probably won't drink too much non-alcoholic beverages either. And in line with nutrition, kinda, not really, but we'll just go with it, is sleep. Sleep is critical for ensuring you give your body time to relax, recover, and reap all the benefits of that training. I've always aimed to get 7 hours of sleep, but I'm just going to be making sure that my diligence for getting that sleep doesn't wane during the plan and allowing myself maximum time to recover. Just prioritising those good old Z's. Anyway, I think that's it for nutrition. Next shot. And here we are, at the end of the video, back where we started. And the moment you've all been waiting for. You all. You say that as if you got more than 1 subscriber. Yeah, fair enough. Thanks for watching my videos, Mum. Anyway, my goals for the Loch Ness Marathon 2024. Now, these are based off of my most recent half marathon, as well as some recent efforts in my training block, as well as a kind of general common sense approach to running a marathon. Now, back at the end of May, I ran the Edinburgh half marathon in a chip time of 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 1 second. 1 second. Again, like I say, that was the chip time. Strava had it at 1:39:28, but still, nonetheless, 1 hour's 40, which I was so happy with. That's quicker than my target split time. I averaged 4 minutes and 46 seconds per kilometre, which, as you'll maybe know from earlier videos, my target time was 4 minutes 50 seconds per kilometre. On race day, I just felt strong, my nutrition was good, my salt levels were good, my hydration, everything just went great, and I was able to ease into the pace at the start and then just smash out a really strong negative split. So with those lessons in mind and a enthusiastic wariness that a marathon is quite literally twice the distance of a half marathon,
I have a degree, shut up.
I've decided that I'm going to stick with my kilometre split time of 4 minutes 50 seconds per kilometre for the marathon, which will give me an average time of 3 hours 24 minutes. As so, my 3 goals for the marathon. My A goal, sub 3 hours 30. Now, yes, you might be thinking,
James, 4 minutes 50 seconds per kilometre. That's much quicker than 3:30.
and yes, you will be right, but I want to be realistic and kind of tailor in some wiggle room. So if my A goal is sub 3:30 and my split time is 4 minutes 50, I will easily clear that, hopefully with room to spare. My B goal, sub 4 hours. I think that's kind of a reasonable 30 minutes off the top time, that if I don't get my A goal, to kind of squeeze in an extra 30 minutes. And my C goal is just to finish the marathon. as I mentioned back at the start of the video, this is my first marathon, so even just finishing is going to be a massive success and something that I want to be proud of. So I don't want to give myself too much pressure. Yes, more than the 3 hours 30 time I'm already giving myself. I just want to be able to run the marathon and enjoy it when I do. Now, as I said early in the video, I have 2 tune-up races during my training block, 10k, half marathon. I don't really have any target times for them just now. I think I want to wait and see how the first 6 weeks of the training block go before I kind of nail in a time for the 10k. I'd like to PB. I currently sit at a little over 45 minutes for my 10k, so anything quicker than that will be good, but a realistic goal will probably have to wait. For the half marathon, I mean, honestly, if I get 1 hour 40 again, I'll be cheesing. Anything quicker than that will just be the cherry on top. I mean, maybe if I can get 1 hour 39.59 on the chip, that would be nice. Anyway, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and keep running. Peace.
Corre pra ver a cor do mar.